Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is episode 163, and it is Be Delusional. All right, so I need to tell you something. Might sound a little strange, and I need you to stay with me because by the end of the episode, I promise it's going to be the most rational, interesting thing you've heard. I think you need to be more delusional. Not less, but more. I think we all do. I think you need to believe things that you cannot yet prove. I think you need to act as if outcomes are inevitable before a single piece of evidence confirms they are. I think you need to be so committed to a vision of your future that the people around you quietly wonder if you've lost the plot. And I think the reason your life isn't where you want it to be right now, today, is not because you've been too delusional, but it's because you haven't been delusional enough. So, welcome back to this Daring Adventure podcast. If you caught last week's episode, your brain is lying to you. This episode is the direct sequel. Because last week we talked about what your brain has been trained to see. Today, we're talking about what to do about it. And the answer, it turns out, is beautifully, amazingly, unreasonable. So let's go. We're going to start by talking about what delusional actually means, because I think we've been taught to be afraid of that word. We're told instead to be realistic, to be practical. Don't get your hopes up, have a backup plan, keep your expectations low so you don't get hurt. And I will not allow anyone who is a client of mine to be realistic. And this is the work that I'm doing on myself. And I have a physical reaction when someone tells me to be realistic or that they are being realistic. Right? Not burying your head in the sand. You got to be realistic. And I want to ask you, how is that working out? Because here's what I know about realistic thinking. Realistic thinking is just your current filter applied to your future. It takes the evidence your brain has collected so far about who you are, what you're capable of, what people like you get to have, and projects it forward and calls it the truth. But we just established last week that your brain's filter is not the truth. It's training. It's a pattern. It's a habit that has been practiced so many times, it feels like reality, right? Just like a belief is a thought you keep on thinking. You have these well-worn neural pathways in your brain, and this is what we've created. Now, I'm here to tell you that that is not wisdom. That is just old wiring dressed up as common sense. And every person who has ever built something extraordinary was delusional first. And you can find many examples of this. They believed before the evidence arrived. They acted before the outcome was guaranteed. And maybe no one else could see their vision. But they were committed to a reality that did not yet exist. They knew. And it was not recklessness. That's how it works. And that's how it's always worked. So let me bring the science back in because this is where it gets really good. Last week, I introduced you to the reticular activating system, it's your RAS. It's the filter your brain uses to decide which of the 11 million bits of information around you actually make it into your conscious awareness. Remember, it was 50 bits that actually made it in. 50 out of 11 million. And we talked about how if your brain has been trained to scan for stress and lack, that's the evidence. It keeps surfacing relentlessly, even when other evidence is sitting right there alongside it. Now, here's the other side of that coin. When you decide, and I mean truly decide, commit, full commitment, not a tentative maybe, that something is going to happen for you, your RAS starts working for you instead of against you. It starts noticing the opportunities it was previously filtering out, the connection that could change everything, the conversation that opens a door, the idea that's been circling the edges of your awareness, waiting for you to be ready to see it. None of it is magic. It's not the universe sending you signs. It's your brain doing exactly what it does, filtering for what you've told it to look for. Except now you've given it new instructions. Your subconscious does not know the difference between a belief that has been proven and a belief that has been committed to. It responds to both the same way, and it goes to work finding evidence. This is why belief has to come before the result, not after. Not when you have proof, but before. Because the belief is what activates the filter. And the filter is what illuminates the path. If you don't believe you have what it takes, if somewhere underneath all of your effort and striving, there's a quiet voice saying, this probably won't work out for me, your subconscious will do everything in its power to prove that voice right. It will find the evidence. It will make the decisions that confirm the story. It will steer you subtly and relentlessly toward the outcome you secretly expect. That is not pessimism. That is just your RAS doing its job with the wrong instructions, unhelpful instructions. The question is, what instructions are you giving it? We want to be intentional and we want to be deliberate. So here's where I want to give you something concrete, because being delusional without a framework is just wishful thinking. And wishful thinking is passive. And nothing we do here is passive. What I'm talking about is active, strategic, and practiced. And this is the work I do with my clients. And it has 3 parts. Part 1 is decide the belief before you have the evidence. I want you to identify one belief that if you actually held it, would change everything for you. Not I'm working towards success, not I'm trying to believe I can do this. I mean the full, clean, no escape hatch version. I'm going to figure this out, no matter what. I will find a way. This is happening. Write it down, say it out loud, and I want you to notice, really notice the resistance that comes up. Because that resistance is your old filter pushing back to your nervous system protecting its familiar wiring. It is not evidence that the belief is wrong. It is not evidence that you can't do it. It is evidence that the belief is new, it's different, and there is discomfort. So you want to process that emotion. You want to allow it. You want to calm your nervous system. Take a minute, breathe, calm your nervous system. Allow that emotion to be there. Second is treat your dreams like memories. This one's going to sound wild, but I want you to think about your goal, the thing you want, the life you're building, the version of yourself you're becoming. And I want you to think about it in the past tense. Not, I hope this happens. Not, I'm trying to make this happen. But this happened. I figured it out. I did the thing. I remember when I couldn't, when I thought it wasn't working, when I felt like nothing was moving. And then I did it. I became her. I did the thing. Your brain processes vivid, emotionally charged future images almost identically to memories. So when you imagine something with enough detail and enough feeling, your nervous system begins to treat it as a reference point, as something real that's already occurred. And a nervous system that has already experienced success makes very different decisions than the one that is white knuckling it towards an uncertain future. So believe your dreams as if they are memories, not as a manifestation trick, as a neurological strategy for training your brain to recognize the path when it appears. And third, you want to be obsessed. You want to act like it's already true. This is the one people skip. They do the belief work, they do the visualization, and then they go back to behaving like someone who isn't sure it's going to work out. No, you have to close the gap between what you believe and how you act, because your actions are the signal your brain uses to decide whether the belief is real. The woman who believes she is building a successful business, how does she show up? What does she read? What decisions does she make? How does she talk about her work? How does she invest her time? Act like her now, before the results confirm it. This is not fake it until you make it. This is how we change our identity, through repeated action. You have to decide and commit to being her now. Figure it out. Those 3 words should become your mantra. Not I'll try, not I hope, not we'll see, not maybe if everything goes right. Figure it out, no matter what. That's the only position worth holding. So I want to leave you with something that I think about a lot. The people who change their lives, who actually do it, not just think about it, are not the ones who had the most evidence. They are not the ones who waited until they were sure. They are not the ones who made the most cautious, sensible, well-reasoned decision. They're the ones who decided first. They committed before proof arrived, who were, by every conventional measure, a little bit delusional. And then they went to work, and their brain went to work with them. And the filter changed, and the evidence started arriving. And what looked like delusion from the outside started to look a lot like destiny, like it was working. That is available to you right now, not in some future version of your life when you have more confidence or more proof or more reasons to believe. Now. So here is your challenge this week. One belief, the one that scares you a little, the one that feels just out of reach. Write it down, own it, say it like you mean it. And then make one small decision today as if it's already true. Just one, small one. Let your brain feel what it feels like to act from that belief. Give your RAS new instructions and start building the new wiring. Because this is what I know after working with women through these exact shifts. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is not talent. It's not circumstances, and it's not luck. It's a belief you haven't committed to yet. And the moment you do, everything starts to shift. Be obsessed, be unreasonable, be delusional, figure it out, and keep going. If you want to do this work with support, with someone who will hold the belief for you until you can hold it for yourself, come and find me. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.